Speaker. The other thing that I want to highlight as I come to the conclusion, that now our deficit is around 5.5% of our GDP at the beginning of a financial year. And this is always a moving target as we move towards the closure of the financial year. Honorable Speaker, that we are now at 5.5%, meaning we can already foresee by the closure of the financial year, maybe it will be around 7%, something unprecedented. It is time we call the leadership of this country into order. We cannot continue to overburden the current Kenyans, and at the same time, we want political collapse by overburdening hugely even the future generations. It is time for this House to stand up, Honorable Speaker. It is time for this House to say no to this profligate.
Order, Ndindi. What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, with due respect, Mr. Speaker, is it in order for my good friend, the former chair of budget, to look at this government when he served as the chairman of budget for 3 years and he budgeted a lot of debt to this country, Mr. Speaker? I thought it could be only wise to advise rather than lecturing the same government that is served for 3 years and budgeted a lot of debt in our system.
You had exhausted your time. I think he just made a comment. He made a comment. To do what? To contribute or to respond? Give him half a minute.
Honorable Makilap, it is very good you actually rose as part of the debt committee, just to show Kenyans that you have slept in your job for the last many years you've been in the debt committee. That the budget committee was about spending. The committee on which you actually seconded their report is where you've been, and it is good to have broadcasted your failure. But Honorable Speaker, it is important for us not to trivialize this important matter and to know that whatever decisions that you are making today will influence the Kenya of tomorrow.
What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order for my good friend and colleague, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, to say that the Committee of Debt has failed for the last 3 years or 4? So, Speaker, it is through the recommendation of this committee, Mr. Speaker, that the Kenya government has been able to manage their debt and be able to repay their debt without a single default. Mr. Speaker, it is the budget committee that has been giving us proposals here, Mr. Speaker, including programs that are supposed to be funded through debt, Mr. Speaker. So who has failed, Mr. Speaker? It is my colleague here who failed, Mr. Speaker, a long time ago.
Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, order, I mean, with a light touch. Honorable Ndindi Nyoro.
And lastly,
order. To be fair to everybody, the budget committee is the one which asks for more money. So when you ask for a lot of money, and you are aware of the fact that that money is a debt that this country can ill sustain, I fail to see where you can get off the hook and say that this can only be left to the debt committee. What's your point of order, Honorable Majority Leader?
You know, Honorable Speaker, you're on point.
Yes.
And in fact, I was just listening to my brother contribute to this debate. And he said certain unparliamentary things or language that is demeaning, such as all of a sudden the government has become very intelligent. Therefore, if this government has borrowed for 3 years, 2 out of the 3 years, it is my brother Ndindi Nyoro who presided over that borrowing and budgeted for that borrowing and moved the House to approve that borrowing. Therefore, if there are people who have suddenly become intelligent, maybe it is my brother Ndindi Nyoro who now suddenly has become more intelligent than everybody else. And therefore, Ndindi, I told my brother the other day, I was chair of Budget and Appropriations Committee in 2017, 2018, rather 2018, 2019. And I conducted 2 full financial year budgets and 3 supplementaries. But I have never stood in my place to deny that which I did. Because you must, as a leader, be able to stand for what you do and be a man of principle. Therefore, Ndindi Nyoro, unless you are telling us, as member for Kiharu, that the 2 budget or 3 budget cycles that presided over, you presided over either because you are not intelligent then and you have suddenly become intelligent, or you presided over illegalities, knowing there were illegalities. Then you should just come clean and tell us you presided over illegalities, or someone held a gun over your head to preside over illegalities. Is that simple?
We will, I think, we're not going to allow this to be. Yeah, but you've been the chair of the budget committee. No. Hang on a minute. Just for the interest of the chair, you've been the chair of the budget committee, and this runaway borrowing that you're talking about did not start after you left the budget committee. You were there overseeing a lot of it, and the impression you're giving right now is that you've been the good guy out there, and everybody else has been doing, I wouldn't say it illegalities because it's a committee, it's a nation, but a runaway or an amok manner in which the financial, public sector finances have been handled over this period of time. I'll give you just a minute and then let's continue with it.
It's very good we are engaging, Honorable Speaker, on this matter. When I served Kenya as the chairman of budget, there was no single illegal borrowing. The illegal borrowing called securitization started in the year 2025, and that is on record. Secondly, out of the point of orders, I have heard the former chair, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah. It actually confirms the same thing, that even the majority leader in the House is not aware that there is a House committee here that deals with debt. And the more the reason, Honorable Speaker, that they should be more creative, and even the Finance Committee, because there is a reason why even now the budget...
Hang on a minute, this is interesting. Honorable, what's the point of order, the majority leader?
You know, Honorable Speaker, as I said, my brother pretends to play around with words to look intelligent. But I don't want to say he's not intelligent. But, Honorable Speaker, you had just guided him. That besides whether or not he was a former chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, what is borrowed is what is not being financed from our revenues. And it is being borrowed to finance our expenditure estimates. The Budget and Appropriations Committee is the one that takes us through the budget estimates that we just approved here last week on Thursday in committee. And my brother Ndindi Nyoro was here, and he knows it. Therefore, I know Ndindi Nyoro, my brother. I know you want to look for an opportunity to do clips, TikTok clips, and Instagram, to people out there who do not know what we know in this house. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, as you had guided my brother, he should not use the floor of this house to mislead the public out there because he knows the truth. He has just said another untruth, that there was no securitization before when he was chair of Budget and Appropriations Committee. He knows that is not true. But he knows Kenyans out there do not have the facts in their hands. And therefore you must be challenged on your untruths, because saying lies is unparliamentary. But what is untrue is untrue. Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, let us be honest with Kenyans. Let us be faithful to the truth. Let us be loyal also to the professions. Honorable Ndindi Nyoro purports to be an economist or a student of economics. I am a student of economics. And as much as we work from assumptions in economics, I'm also an accountant where we worked with facts and figures. That is why I stand on facts and figures. And the truth that never changes, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, while you're on your feet, what was the total debt in the year 2022?
The total debt in the year 2022 was 8.7 trillion Kenya shillings.
And the total debt, 2023?
I know the current. You may give me time to check. But I can tell you the scope.
Order. Can you, this is also a house of facts. Give us what was order. What was the total debt in the year 2022? Just a moment. 2023, 2024, 2025, and then you tell us when it started running crazy.
Honorable Speaker, I want to repeat and speak loudly. There was no single issue of illegal debt of the book loan prior to last year mid. It's called securitization. There was no single one when I served Kenya as the chairman of budget. Secondly, my brother Kimani Ichung'wah, it is also good for you to be truthful to yourself. The reason why we debate...
Order. The chair is the one which is seeking clarification for the benefits of the wider house and the nation out there. Wait, order, yeah, I want somebody to tell me what was the total debt 2023, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then you show me where things started going nuts. Yes, go ahead, Honorable. You might be able to shed lights on that.
Honorable Speaker, as I said, my brother from Kiharu thinks, you can fool some people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. And I had to come back from my office because I listened to a lot of untruths. You're asking a specific question.
Yes.
My brother is avoiding answering the specific question because he knows for the 2 years. Because the issues, when I listened to the mover, the Honorable Adan move, and the second, the member for Baringo North, they were speaking about the fiscal deficit. That is as a consequence of what we have already budgeted for as a house, including projects in Kikuyu constituency, in Kiharu constituency, and in all our constituencies in the country, Honorable Speaker, including the teachers that we are paying for the 100,000 teachers we have recruited. And not to mention the school capitation that the member for Kiharu was trying to incite the public out there again on. That school capitation money has been provided for here. And he knows the revenue estimates as they are. And he has been there, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, let him answer you, Honorable Speaker, the specific question.
Honorable Ninior, order. Can you take a seat? Order. The total public debt as of June the year 2024 was 10.56 trillion. The year? 2024 June. If my memory serves me, you were then the chair of the budget committee. And then we will have the other one, you can find out exactly what was the total debt again in the year 2025, the same time. But you can see there's already well over 2.something trillion from 2022 to 2024. So the borrowing even then was in excess of 1 trillion per year, as you put it right now. When you're still there as a chair of the I'm doing this purely for purposes of getting facts out for the benefit of Kenyans and the wider plenary. Okay. Let me give an opportunity to the Honorable MP for Funyula. Order, relax, you'll have your moment. The MP for Funyula, you want to rise on yours. Because this should not only look like a debate between the majority leader and Dini Nyoro and the chair seeking facts. Let's hear what he has to say. Then you will also have your moment to take a bite of that. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to make this, and I hope I might not lose my slot to contribute. I was the next. So you have asked for information, which you can Google anytime, anywhere.
Yes.
And if you allow me, Honorable Speaker, at the end of June 2023, the public debt in Kenya stood at 10.27 trillion. That is in June 2023. I just changed here by, anybody who has got a phone can tell you 2024. At the end of 2024, allow me to keep on checking. Yes, at the end of June 2024, it stood at 10.6 trillion. These are factual facts, Honorable Speaker, coming from Parliamentary Budget Office. And I have seen from the records they have provided us, is now 12.48 something, 487. So you can see the exponential increase over the period of time. Facts don't lie, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
Data doesn't lie. You can manipulate the data, but the primary data doesn't lie. Fact. Period and simple. Thank you, Speaker.
You'll have half a minute to explain to us why under your own tenure for 2 years, the thing was still going at above $1 trillion per year.
Honorable Speaker, number one, that is not factual. The entire 3 years, the debt was averaging 800. But it is also important that we face Kenyans clearly and tell them there is a reason why this parliament has 3 committees. It's not my business to keep on answering questions about finance committee and debt committee. The work of the budget was about expenditure. Unless then we disband the debt committee in this house and the finance committee, and they become departments of the budget committee.
Order.
Otherwise, Honorable Speaker.
Order, Honorable Ndini Nyoro. Sorry, the chair. The purpose of the budget committee is to look at what has to be borrowed and what has to be raised. Order. Yes, now you contribute. I think let's stop this there. While you're contributing, maybe you can also keep on educating Kenyans and the wider plenary on these things.
Speaker, I know this is a house of debate and it's a house of records.
Yes.
And I think this kind of exchange should be encouraged as many times as possible so that Kenyans can know that members of parliament are not just yes, are not voting robots, but our brains they can debate.
And that's why precisely why the chair is
Honorable
doing
Speaker,
yes.
let me also join my colleague to support the report by the Public Debt and Privatization Committee on the consideration of the expenditures of the Consolidated Fund Services under the financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates. Honorable Speaker, allow me to start by reading verbatim the report of the committee, paragraph 91. At about 6% of GDP, interest payments exceed development expenditure, which is estimated at 3.6% of GDP, indicating that debt service costs remain a major component of public spending and continue to shape the fiscal space available for development priorities. Honorable Speaker, anybody who has attended an elementary economics class knows that an economy has got a higher chance of expanding if most of the budget, indicating that debt service costs remain a major component of public spending and continue to shape the fiscal space available for development priorities. Honorable Speaker, anybody who has attended an elementary economics class knows that an economy has got a higher chance of expanding if most of the budget or expenditure is towards development. Current consumption, Honorable Speaker, as much as it might be a source of improvement of the economy, it does not expand the economy. That's a fact. So, Honorable Speaker, the import of this particular statement alone, I say so, Honorable Speaker, I'm a Christian, and many a time will read a verse in the Bible and base the homily or the preaching on that verse. I don't know how the Muslim brother do it, but that's where I have started. Honorable Speaker, the import of this particular observation is a committee observation, is that this economy has no chance of expanding to accommodate the ever-increasing number of young people and Kenyans joining this economy. That's the truth, the fact. Any other stories, any other political pontification is our typical political posturing. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, we must as a country sit down and be honest with each other. Again, typical. We are having a budget expenditure of 4.6 trillion. We have an estimated revenue of about 3-point-something, meaning we are going to have a deficit of 1.1 trillion. 1.1 trillion. It means, Honorable Speaker, we are borrowing. We are going to borrow about 30% of what we need to spend this year. Honorable Speaker, what that means is simple this. We have an adage, when you are in a hole, you stop digging the hole if you want to get out. We are in a hole, we keep on fetching water to pour the water gets sipped into the soil, and we remain in the hole. We'll never get out of the hole. Honorable Speaker, the challenge now lies on us. The challenge lies on the executive. The so-called experts ODM donated to Treasury to really sit down and avoid endless journeys in choppers, to sit on the desk, scratch your head, think through, and make sure, Honorable Speaker, we resolve this matter. There is so much to be said, and which we continue to say outside there, Honorable Speaker. The truth, finally, as I conclude, Honorable Speaker, the most interesting observation is that the debt prepayment, most of it goes to domestic debt, and you know who controls money in the domestic debt. So the hand is getting from the left, going to the right, and it becomes a vicious circle. The rest who sit in the periphery become bystanders and spectators